Daily TV, the voice of the stone, the wind is sea. Dr. Susan Tatah, hold the line. Truth don't whisper, truth define. Live, live, live. Pan-African Daily, we are live. The wisdom, the voice, the fire we bring. Building the Africa, that's the thing. Who walks in front? We do. Whose story is this? It's true. From the cave to the cloud, from the soil to the star. Pan-African Daily, here we are. They saw the narrative, we bought it back. Changambaya on the counter attack. No filter, no fear, no foreign frame. Africa speaking her own name. Susan Tatah, hold the mic. The past is present, the future's like this. Pan-African Daily TV. The truth, the voice, the way. Join us live. Pan-African Daily TV, the voice of the stone, the wind is sea. Dr. Susan Tatah, hold the line. Truth don't whisper, truth define. Live, live, live. Pan-African Daily, we are live. The wisdom, the voice, the fire we bring. Building the Africa, that's the thing. Who walks in front? We do. Whose story is this? It's true. From the cave to the cloud, from the soil to the star. Pan-African Daily, here we are. They saw the narrative, we bought it back. Changambaya on the counter attack. No filter, no fear, no foreign frame. Africa speaking her own name. Susan Tatah, hold the mic. The past is present, the future's like this. Pan-African Daily TV. The truth, the voice, the way. Join us live. Pan-African Daily TV, the voice of the stone, the wind is sea. Dr. Susan Tatah, hold the line. Truth don't whisper, truth define. Live, live, live. Pan-African Daily, we are live. The wisdom, the voice, the fire we bring. Building the Africa, that's the thing. Who walks in front? We do. Whose story is this? It's true. From the cave to the cloud, from the soil to the star. Pan-African Daily, here we are. They saw the narrative, we bought it back. Changambaya on the counter attack. No filter, no fear, no foreign frame. Africa speaking her own name. Susan Tatah, hold the mic. The past is present, the future's like this. Pan-African Daily TV. The truth, the voice, the way. Join us live.
Okay, greetings everyone. I'm happy you're joining us live on this afternoon in the New York City or this evening in Germany. Today we have a very special guest, like we discussed yesterday, Professor Bayyinah Bello. I see she has a new title, Voodoo V. Professor Voodoo V Bayyinah. She's going to tell us more about. And tonight is a very special evening, and we are streaming in the series of the HAPI Power in Unity Conference. So we're starting today with Professor, who is a featured guest in this conference that is taking place on July 24th to 26th in Chicago, Illinois, USA. And this is a very important conference, as we already had the series 1 of Power in Unity conference in Detroit in 2021. And this is the second in the series that shall be taking place in what they call Chicago, Illinois. And it's a very key conference under the theme Healing Through Unity. And today we are so honored, or I can say we are blessed to have Professor Vudui Bayyinah, who is opening this series on the HAPI in Chicago Power in Unity conference on this topic. Because at this time, we all do know that everything, every energy, every situation, every conversation centers around Africa and Africans. And so this is our decade. We cannot emphasize too much on this. Since 5 years or when COVID broke in, it already was the end of an era that opened up to a new era. But even in this process, we've gone through 6 years of COVID, and we're seeing the true new beginning, because during that time was the time where we learned a lot, where we gathered around the elders, around the youth, around the communities, and we express a lot going on within us. I mean, we connected so very powerful in a way that it's unexplicable. You know, me meeting Professor Bayyinah, us meeting each other, even talking about the Power in Unity conference, the Happy Family movement, and so many organizations that we connected during this 5-6 years. So right now is the starting point where we begin to put where we're taking. I want to use the words of Professor Bayyinah before she even comes on the platform, when she said, we have to intentionally finish the work this year. I mean, finish the work means the work of our unity, the work of gathering together, the work of taking back what belongs to us, the work of actually getting to what we've been fighting and our ancestors for thousands of years, unity. And so we have to finish it this year. And for her, there is just no compromise, nothing. So, Professor is going to tell us what are the steps that this conference is going to bring to us, but also, particularly as she's been away for a while, she's been touring the continent. She's been in Burkina Faso, she's been in Haiti. I mean, when I say the continent, so she's just been doing her work. And healing is one of the subject matter that anybody that knows Professor Vudui Bayyinah would testify to it, that it has always been the knowledge of self, the knowledge of knowing who we are, because that's where true healing comes from. And so if the topic of this, or the theme of this conference, is healing through unity, then I think we have a lot to know, to learn, to study, to understand the process, the last minute processes that we need to be able to complete the target and the missions upon which we have been operating as a continuity of whatever our ancestors started before. So Professor Bayyinah is right here with us. And before she joins us, I want to thank all of you that are joining the show. I can see Reparations, Habari Queen, and Beautiful Family connecting from Accra, Ghana. And all of you that will be joining us, and whether you're watching us from the continent or in the diaspora or in Europe, anywhere in the world, please, this is the new era of the Africa we want, the new era, the Africa by Africans, the new era where the Africa's economy is growing at a pace like it's a race, and Africans are actually on the table discussing the business of the Africa we want. Unlike before in the past decades, where some of us never even heard about these topics, right? Nobody even knew, even Africans never even knew what it is that they should do. They didn't even know if they are even still in bondage. There were things that were just like we were just in the park running and nobody knew what was going on. But this decade that introduced us to our unity, to our life mission, to our work, and brought so many of us, millions, the continent and its diaspora together to start thinking and reflecting. We cried, we mourned, we wept, we did all sort of things together. And now we are here to conquer, to finish the last steps. Even the world is saying, Africa, it's your time. We are waiting. We want to see what you're bringing on the table again to make the world a better place and to make Africa and Africans first better people who deserve life in the quality of its existence. So there is no way this could be a coincidence, people. So if you're joining this conversation tonight, make sure you're inviting one another because Professor is really going to take us to the journey of this conference, but also show us how healing through unity means to us. So if you are out thinking that you're going to achieve freedom alone as an African, I bet to tell you to disagree that we have done all sort of research. We have done everything, even from our ancestors. The only one thing that has worked in the past, in the present, and will work in the future is unity. And that's why the HAPI conference is very important. As you can see here on this flyer, the conference is taking place in Chicago, as we said, Illinois. And the topic of all the guests that will be coming on Pan African Daily TV shall be speaking on the conference topic, Healing Through Unity. And the main theme or the conference topic is Power in Unity Conference, as we said. All right. So Professor is sitting right here, and I'm going to bring her in on Pan African Daily TV after a long while. I mean, it's an honor and a blessing to have her here. And yes, Professor Buduvi Bayyinah Bello, the queen, the sister, the everything that we have. Professor, if you can adjust your camera a little bit so that, yes, beautiful, brilliant, perfect, perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Professor. How you been doing?
I am healthy and
Mhm,
working hard.
mhm. Healthy and working hard.
Yes, trying to follow the model of ants and bees.
Mm. When you start just giving some tips like that, I already prepared my water because mm, it's going
Mhm.
to be a lot. Yes, Professor, it's a pleasure to have you back on Pan African Daily TV. And like we said before, we saw before, you've been active, you've been busy, exactly like you said. And this conference is coming when you're just still coming in fresh from from all connecting the dots, you know. And you are going to be one of the very important personality on the first day, I think, or the second day at the museum, where you're going to be introducing and doing a presentation during this journey of the Power in Unity conference in Illinois. But before we will get into details with that, just tell us a little bit what you've been busy doing.
Greetings to everyone, first of all. It is a pleasure to be back home at Pan African Daily TV. And it's an honor to join the conversation on power in unity. Um, in as far as we are concerned, there are only four words that matters in our lives. If we can seriously work on these four words, then we can turn things around drastically in a limited time. we waste a lot of time talking about a lot of different things. Many times, things that are exactly the same things with different words. But if we go to the essence, as far as I understand, I come to understand that only four words matter: freedom. In every situation, I must analyze what level of freedom do I have in this particular situation. If my freedom from yesterday is less than the freedom I have today, then I desperately need to work and bring it back to par. So the first thing, without freedom, there is nothing. If you call it anything else, you're giving me, I don't know, emancipation or whatever it is you want the word. No, no, no. I want freedom. And only I can define my freedom. So freedom is number one. Once I have freedom, then I have to go for number two, which is health and justice. Health and justice are the same words. It's not and, it's actually health slash justice. Or I could say justice slash health. Same thing. Health is the justice of the body. Everything has what it is supposed to have in the right speed, the right quantity, the right everything. Everything is balanced biologically. So we are healthy. If I start to breathe too quickly or too slowly, my heart is beating too fast or too slow, there's a problem. There's a lack of justice in my body, or there's a health problem. Or the same health situation, that means balancing everything in a society, is usually referred to as justice. But it's just about the health of the society. The more the society is balanced, no one has trillions and the other one can't eat. So if we have a balanced situation, then we call that a just situation, a just society. So justice and health, same word. Third one is prosperity. Anytime that people are free and they are healthy, then everybody works at having the prosperity that they want, that they deserve. If we look at nature, there is no such thing as poverty or lacking. You take an ear of corn, you take one seed. Even if I have an ear of corn and I give you one seed, I give her one seed, I give the other one seed. You could take your one seed and plant it, and you will have a plant that will give you 1 or 2 ears of corn. A single ear of corn has more than 300 seeds. So you can have a whole farm with just one ear if you use it properly. So nature shows us, you plant one mango and you have mangoes for years to eat. Tons of mangoes every season. You have a breadfruit. A breadfruit tree gives you more than 450 pounds of food per year for life. Never stops giving you. So nature is prosperous. Nature is abundant. So when we hear that Sister Tatah did not eat yesterday, I have to figure out who in her environment is keeping her from having what she is supposed to have. The only way you have poverty, the only way you have underdevelopment is when there is some thief stealing other people's portion. So, freedom, health, justice is just one, prosperity, and power is number four. Once you have the first three, you could definitely work on power. Power is always collective. No one person can have power.
True.
If we are a couple and the husband or the wife is the only person deciding everything, that is not power. That is force. This person decided you're not going to eat today. You're going to wear the red dress tomorrow. You can't go out now. You sit down over here. You can't sit over there. I'm sorry. That is not power. That is force. The ability to dominate, the ability to impose with no good reason. Yeah? You take things like prejudice. There is no logic. There is no science. There is no reasoning with prejudice. I'm just prejudiced. I hate women whose hair is piled up on top of their heads like that. Period. Why, Bayyinah? Doesn't matter. I don't care. But it's just a prejudice. There is no reason for it. That you detest blacks, you detest white, you say this one is no good, that one is no good. You are sick. That's why you're thinking that way.
Mm-hmm.
Power is collective. When we are prosperous, we are healthy, we are free, then we build power. And power does not go and hit people on the head because they want to take what you got. Only the weak behave that way. I see that nice blouse my sister is wearing, and I'm gonna do some kind of trick so I could get that blouse. I'm not powerful. I'm just a weak thief coming up with lies and ruse to take what does not belong to me. Power is collective. If I'm powerful and I want your blouse, then I will call my sister and find the right wisdom to convince her that she wants to give it to me. She's my sister. I may have something tomorrow. She wants me to give it to her. So we could share. It's no big deal. She could say, well, I'm not going to give it to you, but you can wear it tomorrow. And then you give it back to me. I'll wear it on Friday. That's how power works. But if I have to sneak around and steal your blouse and do this and do, then there is no power there. Okay. So it's important for us to understand. Without unity, there is no power.
Mm-hmm. That is deep, Professor. Power in unity. Without unity, there is no power.
Mm-hmm. And you know, even in military structures, they tell you that unity can win wars without a fight. Unity can win wars without a fight. You know, Somebody's thinking of attacking you, but they know that if they attack Tatah, Bayyinah will be there, James will be there, Joshua will be there, and some other folks that they may not even know will also stand up there. It's, no need attacking her. She's not worth it. So unity win wars. Unity.
Without a fight.
Exactly.
Professor, if we look at our community, I mean, it looks like we are united. Or, yes, we are united. But what is the missing link that we always keep thinking we need to gather to continuously remind ourselves of the importance and the need? And most often, we are always saying we are not free because we are not united. But like I said, when we look at us, the way we function, the way we gather around one another, the way when something happens, we show up. And what is that point that we're still missing? Because you made a very important point here, and it is in the line of the topic of healing through unity. And now you're saying unity with it. Power without unity is. Did I just miss it again? Yes. Without power, there's no unity, or if we're not united. What
Without
is really
unity,
missing?
without unity, you don't
Yes.
have power.
Yes.
You can have force, but you don't have power. Okay. When we look at, we take any example we want. If we look at the facts, for the past, let's say 500 years, just to use a round figure, for the past 500 years, which one of us have gone, excuse me, which one of us has gone to a school where the school was conceived, the curriculum was conceived by us, the all the material, the references are from us, from our family, from Africana thought and philosophy? None of us. No matter how many degrees we have gone through the church of the enemy, the school of the enemy, the training of the enemy, the curriculum of the enemy. So, can we talk about unity? If we want to take more simple examples, in one family, this brother is Muslim, that one is Protestant, this one is Catholic, this one is something else. Even the small family is not united. Where it matters, they may come together. Somebody's dead, yeah, we all show up for the funeral, whether it's a Muslim funeral or da. But where is the funeral? That was one of the beautiful moments for us in Burkina. We went to a funeral. I had heard on the net that government in Burkina was saying people don't have to wear black to go to a funeral. That's not what the tradition is. That's not, just wear whatever you want to wear, etc. And I went to this funeral. It was the gayest thing I've ever been into. All the traditional masks are out. People are dressed in all the various different colors. All people have dances that they do, fantastic dances. to celebrate the life of the person passing. And I said, wow, I had no clue. And when I ask questions as to what's going on, why is this, there's all kinds, the whole village is involved in what's going on. So I said, this is us. That's freedom. We are expressing how we, from thousands of years ago, conceived how to send someone away, or rather, how to celebrate the life they had while they're transitioning to a new life form. And I said, so now, when cousin Mary, invite us to the church for the funeral of Peter, we are forced to dress a certain way. We're forced to wear certain colors. We're forced to sing and pray certain things, sounds, and blah, 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 blah. That has nothing to do with us. So our freedom is cut off right up. The whole ceremony has nothing to do with us. No freedom. How unhealthy you are without freedom. You have to sit there. If they want to keep you there 2 hours on this hard bench, you do. You can't get up. You can't take a few steps. You can't. Your freedom is totally slaughtered. So, of course, if we talk about the prosperity there, in order to go to these funerals, you had to buy a certain type of shoes, a certain type of hat, a certain type of dress, and da 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 da. Nothing that was in your wardrobe would do. So you become poor. You became poor because of the funeral. In many of our cases, we have to buy a ticket and fly home to go. So all of this is anti-prosperity. Everything involved attacks your freedom, your health, your prosperity. And if I have to bury my cousin in a way that my aunties and grandparents wouldn't even understand, can I ask, where is the spiritual unity where grandma, great grandma, all those who've gone before us are supporting what we're doing here? Because the unity is not limited to just those who are alive. Whatever is going on, everybody is to be part of it. But when they're seeing things so strange, so unknown, in fact, this makes me think of Carl Gustav Jung, Swiss psychologist, who wrote in his book, Life and Memories, something like that. He said when he built his house in Switzerland, he refused to put electricity. He refused to put running water. He did it a certain way so that when his grandparents and great-grandparents visit, they would feel comfortable in his home. Yes, ma'am. And you and I move into 40-story whatever apartments and blah, 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 and we think it's okay. And we say, well, why isn't there unity? Yes, there's unity. We have no. Unity has to take everything into consideration. I may have to live in an apartment, but there are certain things that I have to do to make sure that when grandma wants to visit, she's free to do so, and she feels comfortable here. When great grandpa drops in, he's comfortable too. I have to at least give it a thought.
You just I align a lot with you, Professor, and everything ever since I met you. I think it's just because I'm privileged to have been born and raised in a village. Because every single word, everything that we're looking for is what we left. You just talked about the funeral. I think about the funeral of my ancestor daddy, or in the village. There's just not any announcement about what you have to wear. Like it's not a topic. How you have to show up. The women or the men, they know I bring palm wine, and the women, they know I bring food. Before that, we gather together in our groups that we've always had to see how we're going to cook to receive people that have not, where they're going to sleep, and what kind of ceremonies that we have to do, the rituals. And even before my late dad passed away, he always was saying, my funeral is going to be very strong because there are going to be a lot of people. So be ready. In another secular way, we're going to start thinking and imagining stuff. But as time goes on, I begin to understand. Before they even transit, they know how their ceremonies would look like, because automatically they partook into the ceremonies and into the community. So those that come to you are those that you already invested in, that you watered, that you planted seed, whether it's gathering, whether you were raising children, whether you were going to the same ceremonies. And this has automatically lost the total meaning. And you're just saying it. So, what is that comfort thing that is really keeping us in our mind? We have to have a dress code. We have to be so civilized. Now, if it happens in the diaspora, there has to be a lot of ways that now they teach the communities back in the village, so that it has to be, the casket has a particular format. Everybody has to be exactly rolled and processioned and processed. You see all sort of designs of, and black particularly. I still ask, Professor, what is that missing? You're giving the elements everything we see. And our topic is healing. What is it that got lost individually in us, that each and every person must go down in themselves to find it out personally, so that we can collectively maybe rise in our healing?
Well, like we said, see, everything begins with a question. If I think I'm perfect, I'm perfect because I went to the enemy school, or because I have this degree, or because I was recognized by this group or that group, that has nothing to do with the family, with the nation. And I think I'm such a great thing. Okay, that's already sign of a great disease. Yes.
The
You know,
contamination.
yes. As soon as you hear someone talking about how, they are so great and they blah, 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 they're not well. So don't worry too much about them. Don't argue with them. Okay. So health begins when I could say, okay, Bayyinah, so you've done this, that, and the other, and look at the situation of our people. What are you going to do about it? Listen carefully. If I say to change it, Susan has to change. We have to do this for Susan. Something is wrong with me. Because if I'm talking about changing things, the one place And the first place that I must change, that I have the ability to change anything, is right here.
Yes.
You and I had an argument. We almost got into a fight. And then I'm going to say, tell somebody about, with Suzanne, she did not respect me. I'm older than her, and she did, and she did. Something's wrong with Bayyinah. Because if something is right with Bayyinah, if she's older, then when the argument got to maybe 7 words or 9 words, she will shut up. She will encourage Susan to stop in whatever way she can. And she will look at what is it that she did that got Susan so wind up that Susan almost went all mad and all that. Now, if Susan is a little bit healthy too, when she's by herself, she'll ask herself the same questions. Well, Susan, why did you talk like that to your older sister? Why did you allow this thing to get all out of hand like that? So if Bayyinah is trying to figure out where Bayyinah was wrong in the situation, and Susan is trying to figure out where Susan was wrong in that situation, then when they meet again, things can really get good. But if each is trying to figure out where the other one is wrong, the sickness will continue, the madness will arrive, and the chaos can only grow. Whenever something goes wrong between you and anybody else, stop yourself and ask, what did I do wrong? Maybe if I didn't say this then, maybe I could have said it later. Maybe I should have said it softer or use a different word. But look for because that is where your power lies. You can change you, but you cannot change the other.
Yes.
Trying to change the other is a waste of time.
If we look at it in our community and the growth and the freedom that we are urging and seeking and the healing now, that is a primary topic among us, and collectively in our freedom, in our engagement. So I would want to believe, listening to you, that we must have recognized that something went wrong, and that we have to pull back and find it in ourselves before we can move on to actually, get the power that you spoke about earlier. I mean, I give like an example, like the power of collective, the power of coming down from our high horses, the power of it's you, it's not me, the power of they did this, not us, and forgetting the idea that I am still not in the right place in the space. I just still don't recognize my ancestors. I don't follow my traditions. I don't come as I am. I mean, I'm sorry to a sister called me and invited me to a conference, the religious conference, and told me she is going to preach about a certain chapter in the Bible which says, "Come as you are." And then I said, "Wow, perfect, beautiful. But how can you come as you are if you don't even know who you are?" And because that reflected exactly on me, Professor Bayyinah, and on you, your words, how do we even know that we need unity when we don't even know who we are? When we are so tied to the a double standard, that we even don't have eyes to see what is freedom, even though we know it, or we deliberately really just refuse, like what you were saying. No, it's my funeral. I have to be in black, and anybody that is not there, and look at the crowd that has to undergo that mission because of me. Like, how singly are we, like, go back like in Sankofa and we move?
Yes. Once you start to question the system that we're in, the machine, the matrix, it doesn't want you to think. It wants you to be on automatic constantly. And one of the things they do is to make you go quick. You're always rushing. Gotta get there. 8:30. No time to think. So you will do what the program tells you, because the program already have a plan for you. See, even our argument, the program is playing that. Bayyinah shows up in white, and Tatah was in black, and Tatah is vexed. She's furious. How dare you show up wearing white? Da, 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 da. Big fight. It's planned. But if you could stop just a minute, as you're about to open your mouth and say, why, how dare you? Say, oh, how are you, sis? How are you? You're giving yourself time to ask, why is she wearing white? Da, 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 da. You're doing a lot of reflection, but you just go through the greetings, and you don't open your mouth on the subject. Okay. The program has everything planned, so you and I will fight continuously for everything and anything. It doesn't matter. Whatever you say, I'll say, yeah, but. Whatever
Yes,
you say, yeah, but. We are programmed for that. Now, to stop the programming is to take it slow and then question yourself. And always be willing to say to yourself, you are guilty. You are in the wrong. See, I'm using my fingers to point at this person across from me. And while I do this, look how many fingers are pointing at me. So I have no interest in doing this. Let me do that. Then when I do this with Bayyinah, and Susan learn to do this with Susan, we will find that we can get along a lot better. We will have more intelligent conversations. We will not be, I say, when you take the Learn to Know Yourself workshop that we have, we say that if you want to know yourself, A, be silent. Every time you take it in and work it here. We think all the time that this is the power of thinking is in the brain. Not true. The real thinker is right here, the heart. But if you're not silent, you'll never hear what the heart is saying. The brain is like a calculator. All it does is calculate. It sees two people out there, says, oh, if I could take those two people, tie one of them up, have them work for me for nothing, the mind can go on and on. When the heart sees two people in the field, the heart says, If I join those two people, we would be three working in the field. We could produce a lot more food and have da 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 da. Totally different way of looking at the situation. We have lost the habit, the practice of knowing what our heart is thinking. We have lost the practice of questioning our heart when we're looking for solutions. Even in matters of so-called love, we say, oh, I like this guy because he's tall, dark, and handsome. I like this guy because he's the captain of the team. Oh, I gotta marry this guy because he's, I love 6 feet tall guys. What is that gonna be? How useful would that be in a marriage? How tall the person is or whatever. But that's brain calculation. Brain can only do that. I like light skin, dark skin, da 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 da. That's brain stuff. The heart looks at a global thing. So, the heart look at somebody and says, well, I could probably have babies. My parents will be happy with this guy. My grandparents will find, my ancestors would appreciate this. A totally different way of looking at who is there and different ways of knowing, a more global way of knowing. Not the cutoff and calculating stuff. But we have not practiced communication with the heart in a long time. And we have been conditioned to think that the brain is it. No, brain is not it. Okay. When we train ourselves back to using our heart for thinking, for understanding, for gathering information, we will discover the heart knows best. The heart is not about, I love blah, 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 blah. No, no, no. That's the picture that they have given you of the heart. And when we're talking about unity, we're talking about power. It can't come from this dissecting thing. Unity has to emanate from here. It is from here. Every child is my child. I don't have to have, I see a child in needs and I can afford to give this child or their food or pay for the child's school or whatever, then I do it. That's here. I'm not even going to, I remember my mother, we used to be annoyed at her because she would be struggling for, let's say, paying the rent or paying somebody's school with so many days late with the payment. And we're waiting. We know today she went for Paul Doubler, this is going to be done. And when she returns, she said, well, I met Tatah and her daughter has not been to school for 3 months. So I paid Tatah's child's school. That's a hard decision. Okay? Because she figured, she's always figured out how to get us to school. She'll figure it out again. Okay? So we have to learn. We are not using all of our senses. We're not using all of our body. Even the outer part, we don't know them. The inner part, forget it. And we're talking about unity. How about the unity of the body? Yes. Your universe that you have here, how much knowledge do you have about it? Can you tell that because you didn't drink enough water yesterday or for the past 3 days or whatever, you're about to get a fever? And do you know that you can say, about to get a fever, let me get a half gallon of water and gobble it down, wash off whatever was accumulating, creating the fever. No, we say, I think I'm going to get a fever. I think I'm going to get a fever. Then we get a fever. Then we run to the doctor. But
And get the real fever.
you, right. You have the power to heal yourself. You have the power. But in order for you to heal you, you must know you. Wake up this morning and you didn't even see your eyes were red. So there's something you did wrong yesterday. Before it brings on something more serious, you need to find out what you need to do. And our family is huge family. The vegetation is our family. The animal family is our family. The air, the water, the fire, all of it is family. So when something is wrong with my body, I know I can go to something in the neighborhood that can quickly fix things up. But I go to the pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
Diminish my prosperity. Block my freedom. Because once the pharmacy you get there tells you it's this that you need, this is it. No debate here. So your freedom, your health, there's no justice. The thing that's not even worth 10 cents, you could be charged 20 for it. Because we don't take charge of ourselves. That's not a conversation most people can handle.
Yes. So true.
But that's a necessary conversation if you want to be free. You cannot be free and not know you. You cannot be free and have no ability to heal any little whatever about your body. You cannot be free if you have no control over your thoughts or your words. Oh, I'm free to say whatever I want to say and anywhere I want to say it. I'm a free woman. I could do whatever I want to do. But really? Do you know that some words come out of your mouth and harm you? If you're not paying attention to what you're saying, some of us love to swear all day long. Choose your word. Mary, how are you? I'm healthy, thank you. I'm happy, thank you. I'm enjoying life. If I don't put it out for myself, who's going to put it out for me? How are you? Oh, today is a very rough day and nothing is going right with me. My life is a mess. Oh, so that's what you're calling on yourself. Then you're going to say it's the woman that was looking at your husband that did it to you. No, you did it to yourself, sis. Listen to what comes out of your mouth on a daily basis. We have to be intentional And right now, with the new acts that the earth is taking a new position on its axis, things are going to move even faster. If you're not intentional, you can't even plan, you know, I need to go down, to the store down the road. But I'm doing this and I'm running that and I'm answering the phone and I'm running now to the store. Oh, girl, you're not protecting yourself. Put down that phone. You're gonna go out in that street. There are cars, there are all kinds of dangers. And you're not even giving it a thought. Stop everything. You're going to go out. Decide where you're going to go, how you're going to go, how you're going to go, and how you're going to come back. If you don't plan it all, it may not work. You hope it will. Intentional. Everything you want to do must be intentional. The intention must be set days, weeks, months before the action.
Correct.
And it's the intention that will materialize the action. Choose your word carefully. Don't call your child stupid and dumb and this, that, and the other. No. You, the mama, you have great power over this child. Be careful how you refer to your child, your grandchild. My 10th grandchild, he was 2, I think, just started talking when I taught him. 4 words are important: freedom, health, wealth, power. And every time he sees me, he says, what you going to say to Gamer? Gamer, freedom, health, wealth, power. Yes. Do you know that some of us are afraid to even repeat words like power?
Yes.
Many of us. We do not conceive certain words with us. Now, if you say power and talking about other folks, yes. But if you're talking power within the family, they cannot.
Wealth.
Exact.
Professor, wealth.
Yes.
Africans, no matter what we do, we barely talk about the business of money. We don't talk about wealth. It's a taboo. When you do something, it has to be charity. Yes, charity has a place of sharing in our indigenous culture, the way we do. But and that's wealth, of course. But the wealth, no, it has to belong to some other people. How come?
I have a different perception. Charity is to give you what I don't want anymore.
Yes.
Not the same as sharing. Sharing is I have something that I enjoy, I give some to you, and I keep some for myself.
Yes.
And that's what builds abundance. That's what builds prosperity. That's what brings about wealth. I could spend all of my life giving you my leftover shoes or dress or plates or whatever. It will not make your life better.
Yes.
Charity has never helped anyone to. But if I give you something, it's even, I would say, the spirit in which I give it to you.
Yes.
Okay? I give you this book Not because I don't want it anymore, because I don't like it, I don't need it. No, because I think it will be useful to you. So I will offer it to you. That's a totally different spirit than charity. So at Fondation Félicité, we do not use that word at all. We don't deal with in charity.
Absolute.
We share
Correct.
with the family.
Blessings, Professor. I just want to just a quick break to at least um, thank our viewers and show appreciation that they are following up the conversation, and to welcome them, and even just most of them that are watching and listening to Vuvi Bayyinah Bello, which means Professor Bayyinah Bello here, our Queen of Haiti. You see, most of you are looking at her, you say she's a Yoruba woman, or from Burkina Faso, and or and it's been like that. But of course, truly, she is. And so Professor Baina is here. When I shared the post and I said Professor Baina is back on Pan African Daily TV, and a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, where's she been? We thought that she this is high Fondation Felicite." So we are on the Happy series. I just want to put it out here for those who are joining us. These conversations that we are starting, that Professor Bayyinah Bello is opening this charter, is called the HAPI series. HAPI is a movement, it's an organization in the US. And HAPI is that you can call it, I just don't even, the perfect way I can only say it's a movement. And they are so known for their conferences on the topic power in unity. That's how I got to get introduced to the HAPI movement. And so this series is talking about the upcoming Power in Unity conference in Chicago, Illinois, USA, organized by the HAPI movement. And Professor Bayyinah Bello is going to be the conference featured guest. And this conference is coming up in July 24th to the 26th. It is a 3 days conference with workshops, with panels discussion, with museum tours. And Happy Movement is saying this is our first time of being in Chi. So if you see the original flyer, they say Happy in Chi. And Happy in Chi just simply means Happy Movement is going to be organizing this iconic, historic series number 2 of the Power in Unity conference in Chicago, Illinois. So most of you that are watching me from the diaspora. Please make it a duty to join us at the Happy Power in Unity conference. And the theme is what Professor Baina is already talking about. The theme of the conference, of the 3 days conference, is healing through unity, because Happy has always organized economic conference, how we network and build networks of empowering one another through economics, like how we support each other, how we put our mouth, in our businesses to support one another so that we can be financially independent. Happy has organized tours that is taking, Africans or people to Egypt, to Kemet for more than 40 years. Happy has been organizing and doing films. So if you want to know more about this conference and you want to know about Happy the movement, just go to www.happyfilm.com. www.happyfilm.com. You're going to know more about the movement, and you're going to know more about their projects, like the Power in Unity conference that is currently taking place. The first one that I got to I was privileged and fortunate to connect to was the Power in Unity conference in Detroit. And Professor Bayyinah, of course, is the backbone of every conferences, whether on the continent, in the diaspora, or in everywhere. If Professor Bayyinah Bello is not there, the queen of knowing yourself, of understanding who you are, the queen of teaching you how to get personal freedom before you manage to talk about collective freedom, the queen that teaches you the essence of how to balance your mind, body, soul, and spirit through the wellness. I call it the circle wellness, through the functionality of the concept of ma'at in its reality, in its form, in every aspect. Professor Bayyinah is the first ever sister. I cannot even, I'm not taking away anything. She taught me everything. She ate with me food that I cook in Cameroon. She saw my mother. She gave me funds. She even gave me her money and told me, Susan, she wanted, a fabric. And we moved around and tried to put everything together. And at some time, I remembered that I said, Professor, your money for the fabric. She said, you can use it if you need it, if you have the need for it right now or at any time. It shouldn't be, And so when we are talking about Professor Bayyinah Bello, and we're not just talking about a one other scholar or a historian that studied, we're talking about a girl that left Haiti at the age of 16 and traveled to this present day Burkina Faso and met with Thomas Sankara, the ancestor, by herself. Professor Bayyinah is not a scholar. You can describe, we cannot frame her. You cannot put her like, she studied this and that's what defines her. You cannot even describe freedom and want to actually put Professor Bayyinah as, she's a freedom. I always look, and I'm always very careful how. And so the basic thing she keeps telling me, not just, I'm a sister. Who does that? This is the healing. Just seeing her. We don't even need to work any mathematics in our head. What is healing about? She walks into a place. She is on time. She taught me about the freedom of being on time. Because the one single thing that Professor Bayyinah told me was, when you give an appointment, you are giving an appointment to your ancestors. Whether there is nobody there, they are there. So you need to be on time. And from 6, it's 3 years today. I don't mess up with that. She said, go there. Be there. They are there. They're waiting. When you tell your ancestors, I'm going to be here at 2, they're going to be there. Whether there's nobody there, you go there. They are there. And when she gets there, she delivers. So like in this conference that is coming, in the HAPI conference, everybody is at work. Everybody knows that Professor, if you say she's going to, like she's curating one of the most important part of this conference in Illinois, and she's going to, it's a museum tour. I cannot just not wait to be there, because it's, for me, it's not just being in Chicago. It's not just being at this museum, but it's the essence of what I'm going to learn. That Professor is going to put meaning into things that you see, but you cannot understand. When she puts meaning in that package, the whole scenario, the whole scene becomes something different. This is who. And more that no one can tell you. The spirit, this reincarnation, this mother of Haitian nation and the Queen of Africa, settled the way she is. So be there at the Power in Unity. If you can do, like 50 Cent said, I don't want to say die trying, They say do everything, every necessary thing to be there. If you cannot be there in person, and that's what I like about the Power in Unity Happy series and their conferences, you have the possibility to attend on live streams. So Happy always gives the population worldwide a possibility to be at their conferences. Because at that conference, if something doesn't change in your life, in your situation as an African, in your heart, as Professor is telling us here, then you have a lot of questions to ask yourself. What your purpose and your mission is about and who you are. So I can only encourage, if you look at the description on this in this stream, you can get all the information, the 3 days package, how you can get a live stream, how you can benefit from this conversation. But the one most thing that I'm thankful for is us connecting the continent and the diaspora through these conferences, through these mediums that we're sharing. In those days where we used to look at people like Professor Bayyinah in the, and we're like, oh, look at that African Americans, look at those Haitians. Though they looked every single thing like us, what the hell they did to our brains to not even see the spirit that connect us. I mean, I just don't want to go back to that. But yesterday we talked about it with a youth conference, and we say in our curriculum is the problem. They teach you what you don't need. And I remember I grew up learning Othello, Macbeth, and European history, every other thing apart from even just knowing the rivers in my village. Luckily, I grew up as a village girl, and every single thing that I knew was to understand that process by nature. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And we still have a whole time with Professor Bayyinah here. Just enjoy, just listen, just absorb everything, because we will have to take a break and she will teach us some breathing techniques that we have to do. And that is the wellness cycle under the workshops of Professor Bayyinah Bello. I can't wait for us to get her in Germany for this series that is coming up, because it will be the first time that we'll even learn to breathe, to align our thoughts with our physical. It's going to be the first ever time for organizing more than 25 editions that we will have somebody that would, that a sister that would connect to our reality, that would tell us how to find peace, harmony, balance, truth, and freedom within us. This is Professor Bayyinah Bello. Professor, could we take a break and we do the breathing so that we can process the information that you've been sharing with us? And when we come back from this series of the breathing, please, all of you in the comment, get ready to take the exercise with us. And when we come back, Professor, you would really just tell us this time what whipped you again to the land of ancestors. I mean, I think there was some finished business between you and ancestor Thomas Sankara, and how you just went back to connect back. But not only that, also you coming back from seeing our people in the Haiti, what is going on from that side, like a quick update of certain things that it circles us together that we might have missed the point. So over to you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So for our breathing exercise, ideally you're sitting down, your feet are on the ground. In fact, you should imagine yourself with your feet into the soil, the earth, even if it's on mosaic, but your feet in the soil, your hands on your lap, shoulders balanced, head straight. We're going to take 2 deep breaths, and I will count 4 counts for each. We'll take it 3 movements. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. So, and we're going to keep in mind health, perfect health in your head. Just keep thinking you have perfect health as we do the breathing exercise. Thank you. All right. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Let me do it. When I say inhale, it should be hold. You just stop breathing. You hold the breath that you pull in. And when I finish counting for 4, then exhale, then you. So we inhale through the nostrils, exhale through the mouth, and hold in between. Let's go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. One more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you practice this, this could be your medicine for headaches, for example. When you have a headache, if you lay on your back and hang your head off the bed, for example, and do 7 to 20 breath, before you can reach 20, the headache will be gone. So for just about any pain, you could use breath to help yourself heal yourself.
Profound. Thank you very much. And I hope you did it. And these are the exercises that Professor Bayyinah, I mean, a lot of workshops. I think we're still going to get a full package of her own program apart from just the conference program that she will be attending, and also to know more about her live series that she used to do on Fondation Felicite and everything that we need to benefit. Now we are catching on time now. The train, before the train leaves, and nobody is even going to tell you the train is leaving now in the African community. You just have to move with the energy and the flow to catch it up if you are late. So, Professor, like I said, I mean, you recently went in Burkina Faso.
True.
And I said it also before you even went on this mission. You had been there as a young girl. I mean, Professor, I like your. Please put on your sword a little bit. You were talking about my blouse, but I want to see more of what you are wearing. Like in our minds, it's already like a battle. This camouflage, this army like
That's it.
thing.
For the past 3 or 4 months, I wear almost nothing else.
Yes, it's good.
Because we have to get ourselves in the right mindset. And outfits help to put you in a certain mindset if you use them properly. So so we traveled. We were a group of 8 different organizations who traveled together to Burkina. Talking about the power of unity, these 8 organizations from one is based in France, based in Burkina, based in Ivory Coast, based in Haiti, Fondation Felicite. So we were 8 different organizations who decided to put our knowledge together and to go to visit Burkina Faso with the purpose of first learning, because we hear a lot on the internet, but how much of it is valid? We don't know. So it was, in a certain way, the first purpose was to get to know, to get closer to the truth of what is happening for the people of Burkina. And the second thing, we had with all some of our contacts there, we engaged ourselves to raise money to restore two schools in Bobo Dioulasso, uh, the Kua A and B schools. We're working on that. And basically just learn from a nation that has given, that shows to the world that a Black nation can set a program, have a government that will help structure a program where you can regain your sovereignty. And what is sovereignty? Freedom, health, justice, prosperity, power. If you have, if you're talking about sovereignty, that means you're doing for yourself. You're not expecting anybody to do anything for you. Some of you may be aware that the countries of AES, Mali, Niger, and Burkina, all three of them, if I'm not mistaken, have no debt towards the IMF. They've paid up all their debts. So that
From
the IMF,
Alliance, Sahel Alliance.
right.
Mhm.
So the IMF cannot tell them what to do. They have to do what they have to do. So first thing is, if you owe somebody anything, then they're gonna be telling you, well, since you owe me money, you have to do this way, you have to buy that way. No. So they're working on creating their own money backed by gold. They are working on many very interesting things. But what to me was most important is the participation of the population in the work. Volunteering is something, it's everywhere, the possibility of volunteering. For example, during our time there, only 2 weeks, we had registered to volunteer in work road building. So, because roads is very important to them, so they're building a lot of roads. So we went to wherever it was as we were assigned, and we had to participate in making those bricks that they prepare to lay on the ground for the road building. So we found that very enriching to see how a government organizes and structures things, and then the people contribute. We met women who were contributing, who were volunteering, women with 2 children, with 3 children, women with small children, participating in different works. And we thought that is a model that is worth spreading. It's important for our people to know that. Because once a people are involved in what work is being done, then they own what is being done.
Absolute.
And they will protect what is being done once it's done. It becomes a very important part of their lives. So we were very pleased to visit the Thomas Sankara Memorial. We were particularly pleased that a young man at the head of the nation was wise enough to know that it is important to mark the passage of those who were before him. And so there's a very fine museum, a memoriam for Thomas Sankara. We spent more than an hour, maybe 90 minutes visiting. And when we were coming out of the memoriam, I was stunned by, at the end of it, there's a QR code. So when you take it on your phone, then it tells you that this little thing that you just visited, little thing, we spent 90 minutes walking around and learning about this little thing that you just visit. That's not what we want for Thomas Sankara. Here is the plan for his memorial, really. And on that plan, there is the statue of Thomas Sankara will be 37 meters high because the man lived to be 37 years. It was, I found that they they use space very well in Burkina. They think big. They have everything is very spacious. While over there, we presented. Um, we had to make a presentation at the University Joseph Kizerbo. We went to that university to make a presentation. We were very impressed with the students' questions. The students were very, and it was a Saturday, and many of them came, and they had very intelligent questions. We were very, very pleased with the exchange with the students at the university there. Then we drove the 7 or 8 hours to Bobo Dioulasso, and that's where we went to visit the schools, Kua A and B. Those are the two schools that we are fundraising to restore. The students had a kermesse, what they call kermesse. So they gave us exhibition of all their talents, dances, and this and that and the other. It was very, very enriching, very, very, very important to us. And we were able to also notice how some of the decisions in the new curriculum in Burkina are so similar to decisions that were made in the new curriculum in Haiti. So it was, for example, especially about children learning first in their mother tongue, and that it made a huge difference when you can learn from your mother tongue the first couple of years, and then later, if there is a foreign tongue, you learn it as a foreign language, and these children perform a lot better than those who are forced to just learn from a foreign language from day one when they don't even speak the language. We went to visit the sacred crocodile.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, that was a very exciting moment. Some of us were saying, I don't know, I mean, I don't know, no crocodile.
You held it, Professor. You held it. And I showed it to Stevie. Stevie, I said, look at what Professor is doing. And I said, like, I mean, I was in Burkina Faso, but I dare not even just like, but you held it. You were there.
But the crocodile is family too.
Yeah.
We are the guardians of the planet Earth.
That's
So
right.
if we are going to protect every life form, then we cannot be afraid of some of them.
So true.
Fear is the worst thing. It will make you behave in the worst manner. So, yeah, that was a very important. So we were very we admired the Burkinabe's discipline, the cleanliness of the place, uh, the politeness generally of people around. So we had a great time. We really enjoyed ourselves, and the group met with a minister for foreign affairs. We had an exchange with the minister. So it's a very open. We were very, very proud to. We were supposed to visit a tomato paste factory, but it didn't happen. But we do know that there are quite a few agricultural activities. They're trying to produce all the things they need so they don't have to import for their food, for their. So I applaud Burkina and its people. Hmm?
That's so true. And we thank you also for being the foot soldier, showing the way out there. Um, during my time to out there, I what I saw was the architecture, Professor Baina.
Yes.
Like you say, everything is just really like unique. Did you
Hmm.
notice the
Yes.
I mean the architecture? It's like who the ancient buildings in Kenya,
Hmm.
the space, even the residents where we were, you see that they're transforming all this kind of street,
Yes.
no
No
one way street.
personality residents into
Yes,
residents with personality and yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Professor Baina, for that input and that feedback. And actually, we are going to be really focusing on this tradition, not traditional, this normal things that we used to do in the village. If you really want to get that kind of experience, Burkina Faso is a mixture of everything. I also went to the museum. I even you saw the jeep that
Yes.
Thomas Sankara sat in. I
Right.
also sat in that jeep.
Yes.
I took pictures and we went up to the high and stuff and that. But exactly what you're saying, this welcome home. And another thing, Professor Baina, I mean, like shortly, did you see the way the women, I mean, the girls would wear heels and ride their bicycles and
Yes.
beautifully dressed to
That's
conferences to work is a day-to-day thing.
that's true. That's right. They ride their bike, they drive their motorcycles, they do. Yeah.
But corporately dressed, like
Absolutely.
it's a
Yes.
normal thing.
You
I
don't have to
mean,
be wearing jeans in order to do it.
mm,
That's
mm.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's
there's a lot. There's a lot. Like if you see, I think I see your beads. I already see it, the
right.
black beads because I had mine. Even
Mhm.
the earrings that I'm wearing. I mean, these ones are
Yes.
Crobo beads from Ghana, recycling and stuff like that. I'll be bringing some in Chicago. But this ones was handmade. I have also the other things from women that are
Mhm.
doing this really made with the passion of love, the colors and every other thing. Then the fabrics, the
Yes.
kente and the weaving, and like there's just a lot in this universe that you can stay the whole time. You just would not even miss any other part of Africa. I mean, it's that small, little parts there. Did you meet with the general?
No, I did
It
not.
wasn't your.
No, no.
I know you.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. I know it's okay. Professor,
Mm-hmm.
you just come yesterday, you landed in New York and
In
you called.
Miami.
And I was on the show with your children in Africa. And I was like, Professor, are you calling me because you thought that we're having this conversation today? You said, no, I just landed from Haiti and I miss my sister. And I thought of finding out. Just tell me, being back in Haiti, how I'm
Well,
jealous of you.
um, well, IT is going through very very tough, turbulent period. As you may have already heard, they now have a troop of over 5,000 mercenaries, murderers, who have signed a contract to so called give security. And since they have arrived, we're counting deads like left and right. And, but everything has a good reason.
Yes. Tell
And
him.
I am, I feel very strongly that this is going to be the last.
Daily TV, the voice of the stone, the wind is sea. Dr. Susan Tatah, hold the line. Truth don't whisper, truth define. Live, live, live. Pan-African Daily, we are live. The wisdom, the voice, the fire we bring. Building the Africa, that's the thing. Who walks in front? We do. Whose story is this? It's true. From the cave to the cloud, from the soil to the star. Pan-African Daily, here we are. They saw the narrative, we bought it back. Changambaya on the counter attack. No filter, no fear, no foreign frame. Africa speaking our own name. Susan Tatah, hold the mic. The past is present, the future's like this. Pan-African Daily TV. The truth, the voice, the will. Join us live.
So you're witness to how Professor was just disconnected, and she's going to be back in the studio with us to continue sharing, and not just sharing, teaching truth, teaching light, and teaching what period and what time we are in right now. I want to congratulate you for your bravery, your courage, and yes, for your spirit, your energy. That's what keeps us and unites us and empower us on the functionalities that we all hear. She's back.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she's back. Okay. All right. I think we're really back now. Okay. So we were saying that IT is going through very difficult time and tougher times are ahead. And when talking about tough times, I like to remind people, do you know how diamonds are made? First of all, do you know what diamonds are? Diamonds are charcoal. But when it's up here on the ground, it's charcoal. But when it suffers pressures, when heavy pressure for centuries, more pressure, that's how charcoal becomes diamonds. So when a people are going through a very tough time, it's important to remember that nature has a way of making you go through certain things so you can become the very best that you can be. So that's what I see at home. Yes, right now we're going through tough times. And it is important for us to understand that knowledge is power. But if it's not rooted in the knowledge of self, you cannot use it as power for yourself. Now, Fondation has the Learn to Know Yourself workshop of 32 hours. But the second workshop is know how to defend yourself so you may be able to protect your nation. Defend yourself to protect your nation. If you don't know how to defend yourself, you cannot protect your nation. So we have to understand that we need to quickly master self sufficiently so we can build the proper power, and then train ourselves in self-defense. And self-defense does not mean go out and buy people's guns. Nah. If that's what you, as long as you're buying weapons from somebody else, you're not into self-defense. Self-defense means it's a certain mindset. You see, right now, if someone was to attack me right this minute while we are talking, this notebook would become a weapon. This telephone would be a weapon. The cup, the spoon, the water, everything that is right here with me would be my weapon, because I would have the right mindset. My scarf would become a weapon. My necklace could become, it does not matter what it is. If I am attacked, everything at my disposal is my weapon. And in fact, that is precisely what brought Haiti to the ability to whip three most ferocious armies in the world in order to become independent. We didn't buy no weapons from nobody. But everything we had. One example, women who just had babies. When the war was close enough, they would go and join the battle, tie their newborn babies on their back, and go to war. And these women would not hesitate 1 minute when their task was to dismantle the cannon. They did not hesitate to grab the baby from their back and stuff it into the cannon mouth. If that was the way to save our people on the battlefield. So if you don't have the right mindset, this war that we're in, it's either you will be eaten or you must eat. If you're not ready, you're not ready. If you're not aware, you can't be prepared. You must prepare for very, very tough time. IT has been in that tough time situation for a long time now. But actually, this tough time is all over the Caribbean, and it's going to be all over our world. And if we think that we're going to dance and have a party every Friday night and have fun every Sunday morning and chit chat on the internet all day, it's not going to be that way. We need to set our mind for the reality of what is coming at us. Gotta be tough, gotta be strong, and on the battlefield, must be merciless as you walk towards victory. No compromising. Mercilessly must we walk till victory. Thank you.
Ashe. Ashe, Professor.
Ashe.
We're just learning from the teaching of Queen Mother, Professor Bayyinah, telling us the right time is now and that we are on the finishing and that we should be rejoicing, but be conscious of the times in which we're living in. That's what I gather. So there's no beginning without an end. Professor Bayyinah says, every kingdom didn't last forever. Even the most furious incidents in life came to an end at one point. And so um, this war has had to come to an end with a lifelong, centuries, lives lost, destruction, whatever thing. Professor Baina, we, ever since we met, even your knowledge and your lectures and your teachings and your workshops and your meditations, everything that you brought as a gift from the university today has always been about knowing yourself. And there's never been a time in life, even when we talk about changes in curriculum now, when we talk about even the knowledge of understanding our environment, our resources, our minerals. To be honest with you, like, I don't know any child on the continent of Africa, even in the diaspora, that went through these programming systems that ever knew how to, you know, platinum or gold or diamonds are made. Even though we're working on them, mineral stones, precious, everything, eh, never. Mr. Joshua Maponga, the king, he met also, he's been in Burkina Faso too, and he said exactly the same things that you were saying. Like, there was never a situation where we had to deal with unemployment because that word actually doesn't exist in our language. And exactly like you said and described the situation in Burkina Faso, it's the same thing. For me, every little thing I relate, like I said, I grew up in a village where it was a community, it was a communal thing. And the need to create the job was what was necessary as a community. So if the community needed a bridge, like what you were saying, to cross from one neighborhood to the other, or to go from one farmland to the other, you know, the gong would just go around and everybody would gather in the palace and they would say community labor and work is taking place on this day. Nobody goes to the farm. Mothers or children with their babies, they cook food, they bring the men, they went and they go and fetch all the bamboos or whatever it takes, the wood. They come together, they tie it, like the community knows we need this bridge to cross over to our farmlands. That's what I grew seeing. I grew up seeing all this. That's why every single thing still boils back to what you're saying. If we don't go back and give up all these borrowed patches and pieces, what we might be looking for is what we just have, but we are not even aware because we lost that sense. And the spirit of you just going with, I mean, I shared the videos, but the first ones were in French language, which is also one of the things I think you met in Burkina Faso, and which is one of the things also that they're trying to eradicate, this access to communication and how we bridge each other. Luckily, we have the traditional spiritual connection. I
Mhm.
walked the street, anybody that, of course, I speak French and English or whatever the foreign languages, but there were most of the times that we didn't even need it. Just connecting and eating and dancing and sipping something, and people giving you tips. You coming from abroad, a guy, a Burkina youth just walked into the hotel where we were sitting. He didn't even care to know who we were and dropped $100 and move on. Nobody knew. And we were like, he forgot his money and lost his money. He said, no, feel free. I just know you people are coming from abroad. Welcome to Burkina Faso. Where on earth, for God's sake, to such a description in the West without being a tip or somebody wanted something from you and that's why it's no. They know us. We were a group of mixed young elders, youths, girls, boys, and just having fun at the pool and in the beautiful architecture. And I just walked in and like, oh, I see you guys are happy now. I want to contribute to that happiness. And I just put money. You guys can get a drink. And
Excellent.
what we would know, he came back and like, if you need a ride or anything, and he became then our driver, taking us to all these places for free. We just call, are you guys ready? Okay, I'm waiting downstairs. took us to their family, they made food, we ate, and this. What is more precious? The diamonds that we're talking about
Mhm.
is this.
That's when our priorities are upside down.
Yes.
So we are in a world where matter, only matter, and things matters. So if it's all about things, how many things do you have? I have more things than you. So I'm more important than you because I got more things. I got a bigger this, you got a bigger that. See? Whereas we come from a world where it's not what you have, it's who you are. Are you you? The king don't mind walking bare feet, whether he has shoes, sandals, boots, or nothing, he's still the king.
Yes.
Changes nothing to who he is. He could go around naked or wrapped in bamboo leaf. It doesn't matter. He is who he is. And his value will be in his ability to treat justly among everyone. Once everybody know, when you go before him, whoever is right is going, that's it. He's not going to say because she's a so and so and this family or that family. No. So your function, when you know who you are, then you can fulfill your function correctly and you can fill your mission properly. And everyone
Yeah.
comes with a mission. You come in and you take the time it takes to fill your mission. But today, people are just about accumulation. How many do you have?
Professor Bayyinah, we have barely 3 minutes, say at most 5 minutes with the last announcements to go. But I will not let you go without addressing one of these key elements, which you're talking about, the knowledge of ourselves and how we need to understand ourselves. Is the power. I want to try to understand. I want to put it well so that we don't miss the point. The power to be alone without being lonely. Or power, I'm sorry, the power, because that's one thing I discovered and I went through and I became more conscious about myself and I relate it to exactly what you were saying, that fear. So some of the times we cluster whatever relationships, whether with relationships with our children, with our counterparts, with our peers, with our loved ones or family or whatever thing, there is this one thing in us which takes away the whole inner self of you. This fear of being alone. And that's why I said being alone without being lonely. Can you please just educate us on that in this last 2 minutes?
Thank you. Well, first of all, it's ignorance because you are never alone.
Yes.
We are divine beings. So, at the center of it all is our divinity. And the divinity is the source of power. But if I'm afraid, I can't think of, divinity, power, blah, blah. I just, I'm afraid of the bee. I'm afraid of the ant. I'm afraid of, I'm afraid. I don't even understand that. Ant, you could just put your hand gently and move the ant. But yet, fear will make you see the ant like an elephant.
Yes.
Okay. So, if you are not educated to know that within you is your power to do whatever. We talked earlier of intentionality. Intentionality is one of the elements of power which lies within you. So if I'm getting up every day with no particular intention, I just go out there and whatever happens, happens. Okay, that's the way I live. I cross this guy, the guy wants to sleep with me, why not? But what do I know about this person? When did I ask myself, does contact with this person, will this be negative or positive? Because every contact is not necessarily positive. Even a handshake, I do not shake every hand that comes my way. Many times today, I'm old enough to know and see certain folks coming, and I find another place to be before you reach where I am. Okay. So, if we are not being mindful, if we do not function from our own heart power, those choices we're not able to make them. So we need to, but if I just have enough knowledge, A, my divinity lies in me. B, my ancestors live in me, both mother's side and father's side. Actually, there are so many people living here that even when everybody in this house is away, there's still too many people here with me. Because there are certain things that I need to think through. I don't need all these folks to be involved. So I have to find a way to silence certain parts of me in order for me to reflect on what it is that I need to reflect on. See? So first ignorance element is I'm alone. That's a lie. You are never alone. Nobody is. Okay. All the ancestors are there. And I believe Brother Shaba made a calculations that each one of us have at least 1,048,000, whatever number of ancestors in us. So every time you say to yourself, I'm alone, you're lying to yourself. Because you ignore who you are and you ignore the reality of you, the essence of your life. The minute you start saying, hey, all right, this thought or this word or this song, oh, that's grandma. Oh, this thing here, that's great grandpa. You start recognizing some of the ancestors living in you, you will quickly understand you're never alone. And if you're not alone, and there are all these people there, then they can all, in certain decisions, they can be useful. Hey, yeah, Brother Paul is asking me to marry him. What do you think, Grandma? Grandpa, what you say about that? I don't have to make the decision by myself. I need a new job. I put out 50 resumes. I sent out 50 resumes. I got no answers. I don't understand. Are you guys sleeping? Grandpa, grandma, great grandma? Where are you people? You right here in there and you making and then you're not participating? I need a job this week. You people get it together. Talk to them. They are there. You are. I don't know for other people, but all the children of Africa, there isn't a single one of us who's alone. None. So get the facts straight. And after you deal with ancestors, you still have to go through the divinity in you. So please.
Thank you. I mean, this could not have ended this conversation, because I think that's truly the understanding of knowing yourself. And then secondly, also just to put it the other way, Professor Bayyinah, even if you have a whole full house and even if you have a spouse or children around you, you can still be lonely.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why the real strength comes from the fulfillment of being within, so that when the physical beings are not there for whatever reason, they go to work, they will be coming back. At some point, you're always by yourself anyway. When you're sleeping, your partner is asleep, you're still lonely in some way. If you don't understand this divinity from within, that we can be alone, but we are never lonely. And that's the takeaway on this conversation for tonight, Professor Bayyinah. So your last word, and we will be closing. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite each one of you to take a mirror and look at yourself. Look at how gorgeous you look. Remember when your dad and mom were together, your daddy sent over 1 million sperms. You know who won that particular course? You did. You're the only one who made it and turned into a person. So you are great and powerful from the start. And you are never alone. You have a slew of us around you. So just a little bit of knowledge of self. Each day, a little bit more. A little bit of knowledge of self will bring a little bit of love of self. Each day, a little bit more. And with knowledge and love, you can make a mixture called power. And you could turn this planet into what it is supposed to be. Thank you.
Ashe, Ashe, Bayede. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With that note, we are going to leave or to exit Professor Bayyinah. And if you still have just 30 seconds, not more, I can give you the rundown of who would be coming next on the program. Really, the guest speakers that would be on the HAPI conference in Chi. And it's not just about the conference, but you see, we didn't speak about the conference for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but everything that surrounds that totality of it. Imagine if you would have to meet and greet Professor Bayyinah Bello at this conference.
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah,
Expect to see you there.
we expect to see you there. Thank you very much, Professor Bayyinah, and have a pleasant and a beautiful evening. Peace and love to you, sister, and be
Peace.
blessed abundantly. Thank you very much. Ashe. Bye. So thank you, beautiful people. Like I said, those of you who joined us lately, we are on the HAPI series, Power in Unity conference that would be taking place in Chicago, Illinois on the 24th to the 26th of July, organized by the HAPI Movement. You all know who the HAPI Movement is. And in case, for whatever reason, you are new and you don't know them, just go to www.happyfilm.com. You're going to know about this conference and the movement and what it's all about. Just from the topic, you already see Power in Unity conference. And this is the second series or the third series that is taking place in Chicago. The first one was in Detroit, where we all set our alarms to 12:12. We know what time it is now. And a lot is going to happen. They have expanded the conference into tours where, like we always say, oh, African Americans or the diaspora have to visit the continent, to know about their history. The HAPI Movement is also doing that towards to Kemet. But now the new wave of also connecting Africans or the African world to understand the African American history, our siblings in the Americas for all that time they had been there, is really the perfect combination that we think is necessary for us to understand each other's struggles, challenges, and battles. Because most of the time we always just focus on the continent, on motherland. But now we are beginning to take the understanding of motherland to spread it out to where its children were all scattered around the world. For you to understand, when you see our siblings from from African American community, like we say Africans in the America, or in the Caribbean, or in Haiti, where Professor Bayer, or the ones in Europe or in UK, everywhere around the world, understand their challenges, understand their success stories, understand their contributions to every community that they have been in it, understand the labor, the fuss. And this is one of the things that is going to create that respect, mutual understanding. While you understand me coming from the continent as a colonized person in the mentality through all the systems that infiltrated the African systems, I should be also able to understand your challenges when you were taken away from the continent of Africa. What went wrong with you? It cannot just be business as usual that I always think the people in the diaspora owe me something, or they should always be the one to be on the giving side. Now, the continental agenda is always about bring your skills home, bring your knowledge home, bring your creativity, bring your investment home. And never a day has somebody said, no, let us understand the challenges what our children, our people went through. Every day we see the stories, but did we hear from them? Did we look at the work and the contribution that they're able? Most of people now, because we brought even the topic in the knowledge of reparations, and you see governments are claiming all reparation from slavery and this and that. Were you the ones working on that farms and getting all the bullets and all the racism and all everything? Is it you? I mean, this is a question that nobody would talk about it. We're busy just TikToking and doing other things, and so we're creating content and not holding ourselves accountable. But you know exactly that on the Pan African Daily TV, the right minds and those that are courageous, not only courageous, are chosen for this task will ask the right questions. And when you ask the right questions, you get the right answers, as a matter of fact. So, this journey of the happy movement and the conferences that would also be going through the diaspora connects us, heal us. I understand your journey. I understand your challenge. You understand mine. We understand ourselves as a global people. And I think this is what my understanding of the theme of this conference is: healing through unity. Healing through unity. There can be no healing if I don't have understanding of what you've been through. There could be no healing if you don't understand what I've been through. That's the only possibility. When I understand and I listen to your cries and your pain, and you understand me, why the misunderstanding and the disconnect, that's the only power that will bring us together. And on this note, I just want to read the next guest that will be coming on this program. The flyer is going to be the same. You're just going to see the speakers' names, and the topic is always going to stay because that's the theme of the conference: healing through unity. And how you can get tickets, how you can get a hotel, how you can be a part, because they have a lot going on these 3 days. They have a market space, they have possibilities for you to put art or to support, because it's also about power. It's also about building our economy to be self-reliant so we can support each other as a people, as a community, right? So coming up next on this happy series, from what I have on my calendar, we have a very powerful brother called Mfudishi Jiutsi. I think most of you know him. Who doesn't know him? If you've been on this journey of unity, of going back to who we are. Who doesn't know him? But of course, in short, we're so many to know each other. And if you never had the opportunity to meet him, to understand his philosophy, to know his contribution, and to get in contact with such a personality who are in the line of the speakers and the curators and the educators that have been working with the HAPI as a reference point, please make sure you connect with us. So actually what I have on my program is he's going to be with us on the 17th of June. Today is the 10th. So let's say the guest speaker is going to be in 1 week, right? In 7 days. But of course, we're still going to be doing our conversations. Remember, we have the youth talks going on every day on Pan-African Daily TV. I mean, every Tuesday, I'm sorry. And so we're still going to get other conversations in between the series, just so you know. Then on the 24th of June, we're going to have Queen Efwa. Queen Efwa, it's a pleasure for me to really get to know her, but I've watched her, I've listened to her mission and her works, incredible. I cannot just wait. You know, I'm also Nana Efwa, you know, and I cannot just wait to meet this spirit. And she apparently is scheduled on the Happy series on Pan African Daily TV on the 24th. If anything would change from what I'm telling you, we would let you know, just for you to understand that we're going to be having a series of one of the prominent speakers, as you know, the quality scholars and educators and spiritual beings that we are, that own the Pan-African Daily TV. So we also have on the 1st of July, we might be having or hosting Robin Walker. To be honest with you, I just don't know him, but I know he is in the UK. He's based in UK, and I've heard a lot also about his work. And I'm going to be reading about them anyway, because I'll be hosting and having a conversation with them. On the 8th of July, we're going to have Jabari Ozaze. You know him. Anybody that knows happy film, happy conference, happy movement, happy everything, and connected to the real indigenous African communities out there. You know who Jabari is. And so on the 15th of July, we definitely will be having Sister Felicia Hardin and with Hassan. I still really just don't know. And of course, we'll be having Professor James Moore. And of course, we'll be having a King Maponga Joshua, who are on the line of the guest speakers at this conference, right? And who else again? You're also going to be having me, Amy, on as a speaker, also as a media personality, as a cultural researcher in Chicago. So all the family is going to gather again. We put our thoughts together. I cannot wait to visit these stores, to see the footprint of our people out there, what you've gone through, and just to understand it, and just to be there and be proud one day to tell my boys and my people on the continent, I was there. I saw it. Nobody can tell me anything else. I saw it. I felt it. I smelled it. And I was there. Otherwise, what would my whole mission on earth be when we don't understand where our people are and what they are doing and what they've been going through and what they are contributing? So that said, we are ending up this conversation, and we look forward to a host, on particularly this topic, Mfudishi Jihutsi, who would be with us on the 17th of June. So take care of yourself, and we are going to stay connected. So most of the programs that will be coming is our youth programs that are coming up every, like lastly we had this one, right? Youth unemployment yesterday, featuring Joshua Maponga, the king, who was a mentor. So what is actually happening on the Pan-African Daily TV is all the conversations that we're having are always going to be in the presence of a mentor, and a mentor, Professor Bayyinah, all our elders that have been mentoring us. So they're going to listen to the mindset of the youth, what they're thinking, their challenges, and how they bring in solutions. Like I said yesterday, the Africa's youth is not that kind of a youth that people are waiting to teach them. They know what they want, just like they have their elders, and they know how they want to get it. But because we're in the right of possession, We're listening to them and then try to come in again, ice the cake, push them further, empower them, encourage them, give them more reasons to continue to believe in their continent and to take back what belongs to them and to live in abundance, right? So, yes, join us every day live on Pan African Daily. And I cannot end up without saying, please just like, share, and subscribe to this channel if it's your first time of being here. But I know everybody that is here is already, but in case somebody was just here and never knew, just go to Pan African Daily TV on YouTube and click the notification bell to get notified. I know that most of our subscribers are disconnected. I know it so well, and we know it. So please, just in case you don't, just know that we are back live and we are connecting every day. If you don't see us live, just go through the past and previous shows to learn about conversations in the past. Everything is there. We never touch any single thing on Pan African Daily or modified anything. So I want to thank you and I bless you tonight. I hope you learned something. The most important thing, know yourself. Know that you are never alone. Never, ever. I learned that. I'm a product of that. I'm totally even uncomfortable when I have spirits that I don't know them around me, because I enjoy the company of my ancestors. I talk to them. I meditate with them. I go to bed with them. I eat with them. I do every single thing. What Professor just told you works. Every challenge that you have in your life, whether you get up in the morning or whatever time, always ask, what is it that you are doing? Are you sleeping? Are you not seeing what is happening in my environment? And you will get the right answers when you connect. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure having you here, and watch out for what is coming next. I'm not quite sure we'll be live tomorrow because we're busy, organizing the festival in Germany. But of course, we're also looking for volunteers, to join us in August from the 6th to the 9th. Like Professor Bayyinah said, they went to Burkina Faso. We look forward. We'll give you invitation letters, to join us in this community gathering of the African community in Germany coming in August, very, very soon. So thank you so very much and blessings. I love you. And we stay.
Pan-African Daily TV, the voice of the stone, the wind is sea. Dr. Susan Tatah, hold the line. Truth don't whisper, truth define. Live, live, live. Pan-African Daily, we are live. The wisdom, the voice, the fire we bring. Building the Africa, that's the thing. Who walks in front? We do. Whose story is this? It's true. From the cave to the cloud, from the soil to the star. Pan-African Daily, here we are. They saw the narrative, we bought it back. Changambaya on the counter attack. No filter, no fear, no foreign frame. Africa speaking our own name. Susan Tatah, holding mic. The past is present, the future's like this. Pan-African Daily TV. The truth, the voice, the way.